This is going up at the end of the day. It will be the best price we guarantee for the next 3 months. Huh? That means February into March, March into April, April into May. And by that point, we won't be selling you plants anymore. So now is the time to take a look at these. It's a 4-piece yellow diamond sedum live plants, brand new today. 3 easy pays at $11.66. That price is going up and you're saving $8. To describe this as a low maintenance ground cover, an alternative to buying all that mulch
that you have to buy every year.
Yes.
I love when you said that, because would you rather grow these gorgeous yellow flowers or would you rather grow weeds?
Yeah.
Because you're going to grow one or the other.
Right.
Right?
Yep, you are so right on that.
It is such a
These
great problem solver plant. It's one of those that I just say every gardener needs it, because we all have those areas in our gardens where we have the holes.
Right.
And this is that plant that fills in those holes, but it doesn't just do that with some green foliage, which would be fine. You know, our pachycandras, our ground covers that are so popular, we love them for a reason.
Is boring, and it takes a long time for it to take hold.
Yes.
Trust me, I got lots of pachycandras. And it took a long time for it to take hold.
Right.
Years.
And so get yourself something that will bloom. Now this does like full sun, so it's going to want to be in a place that gets that 4 to 6 hours of sun, but that means morning sun. If it's under a tree, like our blueberry smoothie Rose of Sharon that we have coming up, we have it planted under that tree. So you can underplant it under a tree, but make sure it gets that half day of sun.
Okay, half day of sun, we got it. You're getting 4 of these. This is what it looks like when it comes to you.
I mean, it's already blooming. This one too.
Cool.
Now yours may or may not be blooming out of the box. This just shows you though that this is not going to be one of those sedums that only blooms once and then stops. It's blooming from spring, summer, and fall, covered with this gorgeous yellow flower.
Oops, sorry, I made a mess.
No,
Didn't mean to
good,
do that. I
make a
just
mess.
wanted to. I know we should have garden gloves on here. I always feel like we should have garden gloves on, so we could dig in. That pot is fabulous.
At that. We were talking about Dusty Miller earlier.
Yes.
You have heuchera and then the sedum. So when we talk about container design, you've heard the spiller, filler, thriller concept. So our little lemon cypress tree here is our, you know, this is a dish garden, so it's not something that is huge on the ground. So we wanted a little bit of a smaller thriller. And then the sedum is our spiller. The way that it just falls over the edge of the pot. So it does work amazing in containers, but it would also do this if you have it planted, you know, along a walkway. In an area where you have a stone pathway, you can plant it there.
Would be pretty.
So the way that it creeps and crawls, it goes to about 12 inches, so about a foot of coverage here.
Is it a succulent?
It is, yeah. It has that type of water holding capabilities that the succulent. So that means drought tolerant, perfect for rock gardens, perfect for really hot spots where, you know, nothing else sometimes will grow.
Okay, so where it might get baked in the sun. Look how amazing that is. How many do you think are in that pot?
I think that's just one, because of exactly what we have here on set. Now that will be more like the end of your second growing season. You would get that full 12 inches of coverage, but it also only gets to be about 6 inches tall. So it's really fun to think about all the uses for this, the way that it can run and spread, the way that it can spill, and the gorgeous yellow flowers.
You know, for the longest time, I would only put annuals in a pot. Then I finally took a class at a local garden center, and the woman was like, you can put perennials. I'm like, you can? Why didn't I know that? And think about that. But you can definitely put perennials in a pot.
Yes.
If I put this in a pot, should I bring it inside?
So of course, depending on where you live. If you live in an area that gets below 20, because this is zones 5 through 9. So is that zone 5 is that -20? I said below 20. -20.
-20.
So then you will want to pull it close to the house, but
at least pull it close to the house.
But honestly, we just had our zones change this last fall, so most of the country is about a 5. So most of you will not need to do anything with this if this is planted in a container. If it's in the ground, you don't need to do anything.
You need to do anything. All right, and if you're wondering, like, oh gosh, sounds like a really great idea, because I find that you're buying less annuals, nothing against the annuals, But the things that you need to replace every year if you start to put perennials in your pots, especially if you have larger urns and pots and things like that. Did you do it over here too?
Yeah, so I know, again, hiding over here as the spiller. So that pop of yellow in with our Dusty Miller, and we have Sun Patience coming up later.
Yeah.
So we always talk about with the Sun Patience, they grow so robustly, but you can do a combo pot. How beautiful is that?
These pots are beautiful.
You put it at the front of the pot here, and that way, you know, that pop of yellow really shines, but it can also do that spilling.
So it's got to be a pot, though, that has friends in it that require sun.
Correct, requires sun. And it doesn't have to have friends. There was that one image of just the sedum in there. So, you know, I'm a fan of combo pots, though. And so we have the Sun Patience coming up in the show. So if you're thinking, well, I don't know how to put that together, that would be beautiful.
Okay, and you get Dusty Millers anywhere. You don't have to worry. We don't have any, but you can get them in.
So the blueberry smoothie tree, we have that. You can put that in a pot. So there's a lot of things. Here's the pot, you know, planted all by itself.
And did I not say resist deer and rabbits?
Yes.
Deer and rabbits, bring it on. What else would you plant this with if I was going to plant it in the ground?
So this is one of those that's a kind of very drought tolerant. So even that hummingbird mint that we had, that is drought tolerant. Lavender, drought tolerant. You don't want to plant it with something that is a water hungry plant. Which, you know, a lot of the plants that we choose are not such water hungry plants because we want them to be easy for you. So think about when you see terms like drought tolerant, you know that will go great with these.
That means, Pat, stay away from watering it every night because and I've learned. I mean, that's, I think, what gardening to me is all about. You learn, you try, you have patience because this is a perennial, so it'll come back next year and be even better. You get 4 plants. I don't know what your budget is, but if it is and you want to buy a second set, that way you have 8, and then you could do pots, and underplanting would be great with this because we're going to get to that wonderful tree in just a little bit. M9479